Chapter 1. Pause for a moment and look up at the night sky. Don't just look for the beauty of the stars, look for the connection. Ask yourself, is the cosmos a vast, silent backdrop, or is it a living entity, resounding with a symphony of frequencies that affect every beat of your heart and every thought in your mind? The knowledge that humanity has forgotten, the one that reveals the truth that you are not a spectator, but a finely tuned instrument in that symphony, was written in an ancient text. This is the journey to rediscover the Codex of the heavens. The story does not begin with modern telescopes, but with the dust and silence of the Babylonian sands. Legend tells of a lost text, the Celestial Codex, which was not a mere book, but a series of plates inscribed in gold and rare metal alloys. These plates were found, according to the whispers of the initiates, in a sealed chamber beneath what was the Great Star Observatory of Babylon, the cradle of Chaldean astronomy. The Chaldeans, heirs to the Sumerian culture, were not astronomers in the modern sense, but rather astral priests or magi. They believed that the sky was the dwelling place of the gods, and therefore the only place where the divine will could be read. Their precision in calculating planetary cycles and movements was astonishing, in some aspects surpassing later science, because they did not seek only to describe movement, but to understand its vibratory meaning. The fascinating thing about the Codex was not just its antiquity, but the sophistication of its design. It is said that the text reflected light in such a way that different diagrams and scriptures only appeared according to the angle of the sun or the phase of the moon, suggesting it was designed to be consulted and read only at specific astrological moments, acting as an interactive esoteric calendar. It contained detailed diagrams of the solar system with orbits and proportions that astonish modern historians, along with maps of correspondences between the celestial bodies and the subtle and physical anatomy of the human being. The central message of the Codex was the vibratory relationship of the human being with the cosmos. It was not about divination, but about synchronization. The Codex was a manual for self-tuning. It taught that each planet emitted a specific frequency that resonated with an organ, a chakra, and a psychic quality. If your consciousness fragment was not in harmony with the frequency of Jupiter, for example, you manifested scarcity or lack of faith. With the fall of great empires and the persecution of esoteric schools, this knowledge was fragmented. The original Codex was lost in the turmoil of history, but its essences were preserved by groups of initiates. They are unmistakably encoded in three great pillars of Western and Eastern wisdom: Chaldean and Babylonian astrology. They bequeathed the concept of planetary rulerships of the hours and days of the week: Sunday Sun, Monday Sash, Moon, Tuesday Mars, etc. This is the oldest practical application of the Codex, the daily dedication to a planetary frequency. Hermeticism, the doctrinal body attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, the supposed author of the Emerald Tablet, used the planets to symbolize universal principles. The knowledge that the microcosm and the macrocosm are united comes directly from this lineage. Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism coded the planetary knowledge in the Tree of Life. Each of the 10 Sephiroth, spheres of divine emanation, is associated with a planet, e.g., Tifereth to the sun, Yesod to the moon, creating a map of how cosmic energy descends and manifests through planetary archetypes. The knowledge was hidden, not out of cruelty, but because of the tremendous potency it implied. The power the Codex reveals is that of consciously synchronizing with the planets. Understanding that sadness is not just a chemical state, but a lack of harmony with the frequency of Jupiter or the moon, transforms the individual from a passive victim into an active conductor of their own vibratory symphony. This power of self-regulation was considered too vast to be entrusted to an immature humanity prone to selfishness and determinism. The masters concealed the knowledge under veils of superstition to preserve it from misuse. But why does this knowledge resurface now? Because the present moment demands it. Esoteric cosmology and modern astronomy converge on the fact that the Earth and the solar system are experiencing a profound energetic shift. We are at a point of galactic alignment, a time when the Sun aligns with the center of the galaxy in certain cycles. This event is accompanied by an influx of cosmic energies and radiation that acts as a vibratory alarm clock for human consciousness. The barriers between the planes are thinning. This intense energetic influx is causing an awakening of cosmic memory in millions of people. Humanity is ready to reclaim its cosmic citizenship. Science and spirit, astrology and frequency physics can no longer operate separately. The Codex is the bridge that unites these two worlds, and its message is clear. Destiny is not a sentence, but a symphony of frequencies you choose to tune into. By retrieving the Codex, we recover the instruction manual for operating as interdimensional beings, inherently connected to the rhythm of the universe. Chapter 2. The fundamental principle that operates in the Codex and in all Hermetic philosophy is the second Hermetic principle of the Kybalion. As above, so below. As below, so above. This is not a poetic or religious metaphor. It is the law of correspondence applied to the vibrational and energetic physics of the universe. It is based on the fact that the universe is holographic. The pattern of the whole is reflected in each of its parts. The same energy and the same structure that organize the universe on a large scale, the macrocosm, operate within your body on a small scale, the microcosm. In this doctrine, the planets are not mere inert rocks rotating in a vacuum, as the reductionist view teaches us. They are vast energetic entities, organs of the cosmic body, or macrocosm. Each planet emits a specific electromagnetic and gravitational frequency, a unique note in the universal symphony. This note is determined by its mass, its orbital velocity, its distance from the Sun, and its composition, creating a vibrational fingerprint that propagates through space. The human being, therefore, is a microcosm that reflects the macrocosm with mathematical precision. Every system in your body, the nervous system, the hormonal, the circulatory, and every facet of your psyche will love, communication, limitation, resonates with a specific planetary frequency. The Sun, the center of the system, corresponds to your center, your essential identity. Saturn, the limit of the classical system, corresponds to your physical and karmic limits. Venus, the planet of beauty, corresponds to your capacity for harmony and love. This connection is verifiable. Esoteric astrologers, such as Alice Bailey in her Esoteric Astrology, explained that each planet has a purpose, soul, and a function, personality. The influence we feel is the constant interaction between the vibration of our consciousness fragment, our soul, and the vibration of the planetary essence, the planetary soul. The planet does not cause the event. It synchronizes the vibrational potential that already exists in the human being. The mathematical genius and astronomer Johannes Kepler dedicated his life to seeking this law of correspondence. In his seminal work, Harmonices Mundi, Harmony of the Worlds, Kepler maintained that the distances and velocities of the planets were not arbitrary, but corresponded to perfect musical proportions. He concluded that the movement of celestial bodies produces a music of the spheres, a celestial symphony inaudible to the physical ear, but perfectly audible to the subtle mind. This celestial symphony is the result of all planetary frequencies interacting. Every moment in time has a unique vibratory signature, a cosmic chord that permeates us. The natal chart is not a book of fate, but the vibratory map of that chord at the moment of your first breath. It shows which planetary frequencies were most active and how they resonated with your soul's energy upon incarnation. The goal of the conscious modeler is not to annul these frequencies, but to learn to harmoniously tune into them. When you are in harmony with the symphony, life flows in a state of vibrational coherence. When you are out of sync, you experience resistance, disease, and conflict. The work bequeathed to us by Hans Cousteau in his research on the cosmic octave is the modern mathematical proof of the Chaldean and Keplerian intuition. Cousteau used the law of the octave, multiplying or dividing a frequency by 2, to bring the slow orbital and rotational frequencies of the planets into an audible or measurable range. His calculations show that each planet has a specific tonal note and frequency that biologically resonates with the human body. For example, the Earth's rotational cycle, brought to an audible octave, correlates with the note C sharp and a specific frequency that affects the root chakra and the grounding system. The Jupiter cycle correlates with the note F sharp, resonating with will, the power of expansion, and the solar plexus chakra. Ancient wisdom is once again confirmed by the mathematics of resonance. The human being is a cosmic sounding board. The knowledge of the Codex of the heavens is not astrology in the popular sense, it is pure vibrational science. If you can change the internal frequency, you can change the resonance with the planet, and thereby change your life experience. We resume the reading of the Codex of the heavens right after having established the law of correspondence. As above, so below. If the universe is a hologram, then each planet is a primordial archetype, a template of pure energy that resonates with a specific and indispensable part of the human psyche and body. This section details the 10 main vibrational seals that the consciousness fragment uses to experience reality. Chapter 3, the Chaldean Codex, focuses on the 7 celestial bodies visible to the naked eye, known as the 7 classical planets. These archetypes govern the individual and personal experience of embodied consciousness. They structure the personality, emotions, will, and morality of the human being. Sun, the radiant center, essential identity, vitality. The sun, the gravitational center of our system, is the source of all light, heat, and life. Archetypically, it is the principle of individuality, the core consciousness that says, I am. Archetype, the king, the hero, the father, consciousness. It is the impulse towards self-expression and the manifestation of a unique purpose. Human correlation. The sun governs the essential identity or the healthy ego, vitality, life energy or chi, and the will to be. Physically, it rules the heart and the circulatory system, the distribution of life. Harmonic frequency. The solar vibration is the highest terms of pure manifestation energy. It resonates with the solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra, centers that radiate personal power and warmth. Harmony, disharmony. A well-tuned sun radiates confidence, nobility, and joy of living. Solar disharmony manifests as low self-esteem, excessive need for validation, wounded ego, or chronic vital energy depletion. Solar energy is what allows us to make decisions from authenticity. Codex wisdom, the sun is not afraid to burn. Let your fragment be the light and not the reflection. Moon, the emotional mirror, receptivity, internal rhythm. The moon, the closest satellite to Earth, operates as a cosmic mirror. It does not emit its own light, it reflects it. It is the principle of receptivity and form. Archetype, the mother, the reflection, the unconscious. It governs the basic needs for security, nourishment, and belonging. Human correlation. The moon governs the emotional world, how we react and manage the internal world, memory, habits, and the etheric body, the energetic template. Physically, it rules the bodily fluids and the stomach, reflecting its dominion over the tides. Harmonic frequency. Its frequency is one of constant fluctuation and cycle, resonating with the sacral chakra, emotions and flow, and the solar plexus, feeling. Harmony, disharmony. A tuned moon brings calm, internal security, and a great capacity for empathy. Disharmony is experienced as emotional instability, hypersensitivity, constant mood swings, or chronic digestive problems. Fear is a dysregulated lunar emotion. Codex wisdom. The form is as important as the light. Honor your cycles, for in the ebb and flow, life is renewed. Mercury, the winged messenger, communication. Mind. Mercury, the fastest planet and closest to the sun, is the archetype of connection and mind. Archetype. The messenger, the student, the intellect. It is the bridge between spirit and matter, the internal and the external. Human correlation. It governs communication, language, speech, rational thought, how you analyze and name reality, mental agility, and learning. Physically, it rules the nervous system, the body's information network, the lungs, and the hands. Harmonic frequency. The mercurial vibration is fast, electric, and neutral. It only transmits the information it receives. It resonates with the throat chakra, expression, and the third eye chakra, reason. Harmony, disharmony. Attuned Mercury offers clarity of thought, fluid expression, and a sharp intellect. Disharmony manifests as mental anxiety over analysis, communication problems, chronic misunderstandings, or dishonesty. The famous Mercury retrograde is the cosmic signal to review and realign mental and communicational wiring. Codex wisdom. It is not what you know, but how quickly you can connect what you know with what you feel. Truth is the shortest route. Venus, the magnetic beauty, love, harmony, creativity. Venus, the brightest and most beautiful planet, is the principle of attraction, value, and union. Archetype, the lover, the artist, affective unity. It governs what we value and how we create harmony in our lives. Human correlation. It governs personal love, the capacity to give and receive affection. Aesthetics, pleasure, and form-oriented creativity. Physically, it rules the skin, throat, and kidneys, internal balance. Harmonic frequency. Its vibration is magnetic and unifying. It resonates powerfully with the heart chakra, love and compassion, and the throat chakra, artistic expression. Harmony, disharmony. Attuned Venus generates personal magnetism, inner peace, and harmonious social life. Disharmony translates into relational conflicts, inability to enjoy pleasure, lack of self-esteem, not valuing oneself, or excessive superficiality. Codex wisdom. True beauty is not what you see, but the resonance you create. Love is the cosmic law of attraction. Mars, the focused warrior. Will, action, courage. Mars, the red planet, is the archetype of force, action, and the will to assert the self. Archetype, the warrior, the pioneer, the masculine force, active. It governs the impulse to start and conquer. Human correlation. It governs the will to act, courage, initiative, and assertiveness. It is the energy that allows you to set boundaries and defend your space. Physically, it rules the muscles, the adrenal system, and the blood, the energy of life running. Harmonic frequency. The Martian vibration is fast, hot, and affirming. It resonates with the solar plexus chakra, willpower, and the root chakra, survival instinct. Harmony, disharmony. Attuned Mars grants focused determination, motivation, and assertiveness, the power to say no. Disharmony manifests as aggression, repressed anger, destructive impulsivity, or at the opposite extreme, total inaction due to fear of conflict. Codex wisdom. Action is the language of the spirit. Without the will of Mars, thought does not turn into form. Jupiter, the benevolent king, expansion, wisdom, abundance. Jupiter, the largest planet, is the principle of expansion, faith, and fortune. Archetype, the sage, the benefactor, faith, the optimist. It governs the search for meaning and growth beyond known limits. Human correlation. It governs expansion, personal, intellectual, and geographical. Wisdom, higher understanding, optimism, and abundance, the capacity to see opportunities. Physically, it rules the liver, the great filter and regulator, the thighs, and the pituitary gland. Harmonic frequency. Its vibration is expansive and amplifying. It resonates with the crown chakra, higher vision, and the sacral chakra, joy and delight. Harmony disharmony. Attuned Jupiter attracts opportunities, success, and a generous perspective. Disharmony is seen as excesses, dogmatism, blindness due to excessive optimism, or a deep lack of faith in the future. It is the energy that allows you to jump without seeing the net, trusting that it will manifest. Codex wisdom. Where there is faith, there is Jupiter. The law of abundance is the law of fearless expansion. Saturn, the severe teacher. Structure, limits. Time. Saturn, the ringed planet, is the limit of the classical system. It is the archetype of the master, law, and form. Archetype. The wise elder, the father, the law, the karmic sculptor. It governs discipline and reality. Human correlation. It governs structure, bones, skeleton. Limits. Capacity for self-control. Time, and the karmic lesson. Tests of maturity. The famous Saturn return at age 29 is the formal initiation of the adult, where the fruits or lessons of the structures built are harvested. Harmonic frequency. Its vibration is dense, slow, and of crystallization. It resonates with the root chakra, grounding and physical. Structure. Harmony, disharmony. Attuned Saturn grants mastery, patience, discipline, and the capacity to build lasting structures. Disharmony manifests as fear, mental and physical rigidity, arthritis, depression, chronic stagnation, or avoidance of responsibility. Tuning with Saturn is the foundation for achieving any long-term goal. Codex wisdom. Freedom is not the absence of rules, but the mastery of form. Time is the cosmos' gift for growth. Chapter 4. The most advanced diagrams in the Codex referred to 3 more subtle and distant energies, which modern astronomy called outer or transpersonal planets. Their influence is less personal and more generational or collective. Uranus, the cosmic rebel, sudden awakening, innovation. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. While Mercury governs the personal mind, Uranus governs the higher mind or cosmic intelligence. Archetype, the genius, the awakener, the electric. It is the impulse toward liberation from Saturnian forms and unfiltered truth. Human correlation. It governs sudden awakening, enlightenment experiences, innovation, and originality. Its energy is that of radical rupture with the past. Physically, it governs the sympathetic nervous system and electrical impulses. Collective influence. Uranus influences social revolutions, scientific paradigm shifts, and the collective movement toward freedom. Its frequency pushes us to go beyond traditional limits. Codex wisdom. The new is always uncomfortable, except the spark of thunder, for it is the sign that the cage is open. Neptune, the mystic dreamer, dissolution, unity, intuition. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. While Venus governs personal love, Neptune governs universal love and mystical unity. Archetype, the mystic, the visionary, the illusionist. It governs the dissolution of boundaries between the self and the other. Human correlation. It governs pure intuition, mystical spirituality, sacrifice, and fantasy. In its shadow, it governs illusion, confusion, and evasion addictions. Physically, it rules the lymphatic system and the pineal gland, the center of subtle vision. Collective influence. Neptune influences artistic movements, idealism, impressionism, the emergence of great spiritual movements, and the dissolution of national borders in favor of global unity. Its frequency teaches us that we are all one. Codex wisdom. Look beyond the veil of form. Ultimate reality is unity. Illusion is the fear of losing form. Pluto, the deep transformer, death and rebirth. Hidden power. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. While Mars governs the will to act, Pluto governs the will of the soul and radical transformation. Archetype: the Phoenix, the Lord of the Underworld, transformation. It governs the forces of karmic destruction that allow for regeneration. Human correlation: it governs deep transformation, psychological death and rebirth. Hidden power: shadows, the subconscious. Raw sexuality and cellular regeneration. Physically, it rules the organs of elimination and the immune system. Collective influence: Pluto governs cycles of world wars, massive economic transformations, and the collective need to confront and purge the shadows of society. Its frequency forces us to release the old and rotten, even if painfully, so that truth can emerge. Codex wisdom: there is no resurrection without descent. Embrace the abyss, for pure gold is found in the deepest shadow. Why these planets were discovered. When humanity was ready, the revelation of these planets in human history is not accidental. It is a synchronous event of collective consciousness. Esoteric astrology posits that the physical appearance of a planet is synchronized with humanity's evolutionary need to integrate the frequency it represents. Uranus, discovered in 1781, appeared with the American and French revolutions, the steam engine, and the concept of individual freedom and technological revolution. Neptune, discovered in 1846, appeared with the rise of Romanticism, anesthesia, dissolution of sensation, and idealistic social movements. Pluto, discovered in 1930, appeared in the era of depth psychology, Freud-Jung, and the development of atomic energy, the hidden power of the nucleus. These planets emit frequencies that not only affect a person, but drive collective evolution through crises, awakenings, and great generational shifts. Their influence on the individual is often felt through crisis, forcing the fragment to transcend the personal limits imposed by the classical planets. The Codex of the Heavens offers us the complete map, the 7 classics to master the personal self, and the 3 transpersonals to align the personal self with the collective evolutionary plan. Your psyche is the stage where the planetary symphony is played out. The next chapter will ground these frequencies in your body, revealing how each planet is connected to your energy centers and how you can tune into the cosmic rhythm to live in harmony. We have decoded the message of the lost cosmic archive. We know that planets are vibratory archetypes and that the human being is a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. The next, most crucial step is to ground this knowledge in the physical and energetic plane. If the planets are the musicians of the celestial symphony, the human body is the human temple, the perfectly designed resonance box to receive and translate those cosmic frequencies. Mastery begins by understanding where the points of direct contact between heaven and earth, between planet and being, are located. Chapter 5. The union between esoteric astrology and subtle anatomy is found in the chakra system. Chakras are energy vortices, spinning wheels that function as transformers, connecting the physical body with the subtle bodies. They are the focal points where planetary frequencies anchor and are distributed in the human system. Each chakra resonates primarily with the frequency of one or more planets, forming a perfect network of vibratory correspondence. By understanding these unions, the conscious being can diagnose where their personal symphony is misaligned and which planetary energy they need to tune into. The first chakra, known as Muladhara, is located at the base of the spine and is the center of grounding and survival. This chakra has a direct and powerful correspondence with Saturn. Saturn is the principle of structure, limits, form, and density. It is the planet that forces us to deal with the material reality of Earth. The Saturnian frequency is slow and of crystallization, similar to the vibration of bones and ligaments. When this chakra is tuned to the harmonic energy of Saturn, we experience stability, discipline, physical strength, and the ability to set firm boundaries. When it is disharmonized, Saturnian rigidity turns into fear of scarcity, inaction, skeletal problems, or a sense of being disconnected from reality. The work with this chakra is the work of accepting the law of form, structure, and time as taught by the Master Saturn. The second chakra, Svadhisthana, is located in the sacral area and governs emotional flow, sexuality, and fluid creativity. This center has a double resonance, with the moon and with Jupiter. The moon governs the flow of fluids and the emotional tide, giving the chakra its cyclical and receptive nature. Jupiter, the principle of expansion and optimism, gives the chakra the capacity to experience pleasure, joy, and to expand feelings beyond the personal. The tuning between these two planets in the second chakra is vital for a healthy emotional life. Imbalance manifests as lunar emotional instability, lack of boundaries in relationships, or at the Jupiterian extreme, excess and addiction to pleasure without limits. Tuning the second chakra means allowing emotional flow without attachment, honoring lunar cycles with Jupiterian optimism. The third chakra, Manipura, is located at the solar plexus and is the center of personal power, will, and identity in action. This center radiates a fiery energy and is ruled by the Sun and Mars. The Sun is the radiant center of identity, the axis of our being that radiates purpose and confidence. Mars is the action, the force that propels that identity into the world. The combination of Sun and Mars in the solar plexus is what gives us the capacity to make decisions, act assertively, and manifest individuality. Disharmony in this chakra, which is very common, manifests as tyranny, excess of Mars and Sun, or as submission, lack of will, and low vital energy, deficit of Sun and Mars. The work in this center is the forging of a healthy and functional ego, capable of exercising will with courage and direction. The fourth chakra, Anahata, the heart chakra, is the bridge between the lower and upper centers. It is the center of love, harmony, and compassion. Its ruler is the loving Venus. Venus is the archetype of attraction, valuation, and affective unity. The Venusian frequency, tuned to the heart, allows us to experience unconditional love, aesthetic peace, and the capacity to harmonize the world around us. Physically, this center governs the heart and lungs. Disharmony manifests as fear of intimacy, difficulty giving or receiving love, or the need to put conditions on affection. Tuning the heart to the frequency of Venus is opening up to the vibration of beauty and interconnectedness. The fifth chakra, Vishuddha, is located in the throat and is the center of communication, expression, and truth. Its ruling planet is Mercury. Mercury is the winged messenger, the principle of connection, and the translation of mental idea into word. This chakra allows us to express the truth of our consciousness fragment creatively and clearly. Disharmony in this center manifests as voice problems, fear of public speaking, or the tendency towards lying and evasion. When the fifth chakra is aligned, the voice becomes clear, resonant, and truthful. The work with Mercury in this center is to fine-tune the nervous system and language so that they are pure vehicles of intention. The sixth chakra, Ajna, the third eye chakra, is the center of intuition, vision, and subtle perceptions. Like the second, it has a double planetary correspondence with the moon and with Neptune. The moon governs basic psychic vision, the reflection of subtle light and unconscious memory. Neptune, the higher octave of the moon, governs mystical vision and transcendent unity. It is the dreamer, the one who dissolves the limits of material reality. The combination of moon and Neptune in the third eye allows the being to see beyond the world of forms, accessing deep intuition and clairvoyance. Disharmony manifests as illusions, fantasies unanchored to reality, or a mind totally closed to subtle perceptions. Tuning in this chakra is the basis of esoteric wisdom. The seventh chakra, Sahasrara, the crown chakra, is located at the top of the head and is the center of cosmic connection, enlightenment, and pure knowledge. It also has a double correspondence with Uranus and with the spiritual sun. Uranus is the higher octave of the sun, the cosmic mind, the principle of sudden awakening and innovation that breaks limits. The spiritual sun is the aspect of the sun that is not ego but pure consciousness, the direct bridge to the source. The tuning of this chakra with Uranus and the spiritual sun allows the consciousness fragment to experience unity, liberation from illusion, and direct knowledge. Disharmony manifests as extreme cynicism, dogmatic attachment to beliefs, or a feeling of deep existential loneliness. The opening of this chakra is the final goal of conscious evolution. Understanding these planetary correspondences in the chakras transforms the concept of the natal chart. It is no longer just a map of psychological tendencies, but a vibrational diagnosis that reveals which energy centers are overloaded, underdeveloped, or out of sync with the rest of the cosmic symphony. Chapter 6. For these correspondences not to remain esoteric metaphor, we must anchor them in the realm of physics and measurable vibration. This is where modern science meets the Codex of the heavens. The starting point for all planetary tuning is Earth itself. Our planet has a constant electromagnetic heartbeat, known as the Schumann resonance. This resonance is a set of frequency peaks in the extremely low frequency region found between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. The fundamental value of this resonance, the primary heartbeat of the Earth, is approximately 7.83 Hertz. The Codex of the heavens did not know the Hertz, but it knew the rhythm of the Earth. The number 7.83 Hertz is crucial because this frequency perfectly synchronizes with the range of human alpha brainwaves. Alpha waves are the state of consciousness in which the mind is relaxed but attentive, the threshold of meditation and creative visualization. When the brain operates in coherence with the Schumann resonance, the human being feels grounded, peaceful, and connected. In essence, the Earth is constantly emitting a frequency that invites the human mind to a state of natural meditation. From this base frequency, the Chaldeans and mystics were able to deduce the frequencies associated with each planet according to the harmonics of the solar system. The work of the mathematician Hans Cousteau, who applied the law of the octave to bring the slow orbital and rotational frequencies of the planets into an audible range, has validated the ancient intuition. By bringing the movement of the planets to a measurable scale, we find that each one has a note and a harmonic frequency that resonates in our body. For example, the harmonic frequency of Mercury's orbit corresponds to a tone that has been shown to have a direct effect on mental clarity and communication. The frequency of Venus corresponds to a tone that induces deep relaxation and harmony in the body, resonating with the heart chakra. The vibration of Saturn, being the slowest and densest of the classics, produces a low tone that aids in grounding and the perception of bone structure, anchoring the body to reality. Numerous studies exist on how specific frequencies affect the state of consciousness in human biology. Research in cellular biology and biophysics has shown that cells communicate with each other through electromagnetic fields, and that external frequencies can influence the rate of cell division, enzymatic activity, and DNA repair. Planetary harmonic frequencies, therefore, are not just a spiritual concept, but a form of vibrational information that the body is programmed to decode. This gives rise to the concept of frequential medicine based on planetary resonance. The idea is simple. If disease or psychic imbalance is the result of a vibrational disharmony, e.g., a person with a deficit of solar energy may suffer from chronic fatigue, then healing is achieved by introducing the correct harmonic frequency. Exposure to the tonal note of that planet can realign the corresponding chakra and restore the flow of energy in the organ ruled by that planet. It is not a chemical treatment, but a vibrational tuning that reminds the body of its perfect health pattern. However, in the current era, this natural tuning is being challenged. The Codex warned about the forces that would disrupt natural tuning, and today, that force is electromagnetic pollution. The vast networks of wireless communication, radio waves, and the multitude of electronic devices emit a spectrum of artificial frequencies that often desynchronize our natural resonance. These external frequencies, being chaotic or non-harmonic, can interrupt the coherence between alpha brain waves and the Schumann resonance, leading to anxiety, lack of sleep, and disconnection from terrestrial grounding. The conscious modeler must actively protect their human temple from this pollution, practicing electromagnetic silence and reinforcing tuning with the fundamental frequency of 7.83 Hz, using meditation to anchor the mind in the rhythm of the earth. By doing so, we create a stable base from which we can initiate conscious tuning with the individual frequencies of the planets. The lesson of the Codex is that before attempting to reach the stars, we must secure our anchor in the earth. Only an instrument well connected to its base can play the full symphony of the heavens. We resume the path, having anchored the correspondence between the planets and the energy centers, and understood the vibrational base of the earth. The human temple is ready to receive the cosmic orchestration. The mastery of the Codex of the heavens consists not only in knowing the notes, but in understanding the rhythm with which they are played. The planets are not static. Their movements create cycles that initiate periods of manifestation, review, or transformation. These are the opportune moments for conscious action. Chapter 7. Planetary cycles are the pulses of cosmic consciousness. The human being, as a microcosm, is subject to these tides of energy. Understanding the rhythm of the cycles and consciously working with them is the key to ceasing to be a victim of destiny and becoming a clever navigator. The most fundamental and perceptible cycle is that of the lunar cycles. The moon, ruler of fluids and emotions, completes its phase cycle in approximately 29.5 days. This cycle directly governs the emotional and physical fluctuations in the human being. The new moon represents the point of lowest visible energy, a time of introspection, planting intentions, and low physical vitality levels. The waxing moon is the period of growth, action, and momentum. The full moon, for its part, is the peak of energy, the maximum illumination of the unconscious. This is why emotions intensify, sleep is altered, and physical energy reaches its maximum point. This is a time of manifestation and harvest. The waning moon is the period of release, cleansing, and detoxification, crucial for health. Human health is intrinsically linked to water and the lymphatic system, both ruled by the moon. Ignoring these cycles causes imbalances in sleep, digestion, and emotional stability. Working with them means using the new moon to start diets and the waning period to purify and break free from habits. Then we have planetary retrogrades. A planet is said to be retrograde when, from Earth's perspective, it appears to move backward in the sky. This is an optical illusion caused by the different orbital speeds, but on a vibrational level, it has a profound effect. A retrograde means that the archetypal energy of that planet is directed inward for a period of internal review. For example, when Mercury retrogrades, its energy of communication and thought becomes introverted. This is not a curse, but a cosmic opportunity of 3 weeks to review, recalibrate, and renegotiate matters governed by the mind. Trying to move forward with new contracts, big purchases, or impulsive decisions during a retrograde is going against the current. Consciously, the modeler uses these periods for introspection, repair, and the completion of old projects. When Mars retrogrades, the energy of action is reviewed, inviting a reevaluation of the way we assert our will. Return cycles are the markers of maturity. The most significant are the Jupiter return and the Saturn return. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom, returns to the point where it was at birth approximately every 12 years. These periods, at 12, 24, 36 years, mark phases of vital expansion. They are moments of great leaps of faith, changes in life philosophy, and great journeys both physical and intellectual. The Jupiter return encourages the individual to seek the next level of meaning and abundance. The Saturn return, which occurs around 29 years and repeats near 58, is the initiation of the adult. Saturn is the karmic master who demands we face the structure, responsibility, and limits of reality. This period is notorious for growth crises. The fragment is forced to dismantle all life structures that were built on an unstable foundation, be it a job, a relationship, or a belief. The Saturn return is the final exam. If you have lived with discipline and responsibility, in tune with Saturn, the return brings mastery and strength. If you have evaded work or structure, it brings collapse and direct confrontation with fear. Consciously working with this return is accepting total responsibility for one's life and building lasting structures for adulthood. Planetary transits are the movements of the planets in the current sky in relation to the planets in the natal chart. Every transit is a potential growth crisis. For example, when Pluto, the planet of deep transformation, transits over a personal planet, the energy of that planet is forced to die and be reborn. This is not punishment, but the deepest energetic cleansing the universe can offer. If Pluto touches Venus, love, it can mean the end of a relational pattern or the total transformation of self-esteem. Consciously, transits are used for deep self-observation. The modeler, knowing that Pluto is transforming their sphere of love, does not focus on the pain of loss, but on the regeneration of the new love pattern. Finally, eclipses act as portals of accelerated transformation. A solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids, an interruption in the normal flow of solar energy that often precipitates a new beginning or a significant external event. A lunar eclipse is an amplified full moon, forcing emotional release and the culmination of patterns. Eclipses act as karmic triggers that close chapters of the past and open doors to an accelerated future. They are not moments to initiate actions, but to observe what the universe is moving for you. How to consciously work with these cycles instead of suffering them is the wisdom of the Codex. It is not about fearing the retrograde or the eclipse, but about aligning intention with the cosmic rhythm. If the energy asks you to review, retrograde, review. If the energy asks you for structure, Saturn, structure. If the energy asks you for release, waning moon, release. Resistance to the cycle is what generates suffering. Surrender to its rhythm is what generates flow and mastery. Chapter 8. Theoretical knowledge becomes power through disciplined practice. The planetary tuning rituals are the methods the Codex teaches to consciously reintroduce the harmonic frequency of a planet into the human temple. They are acts of ceremonial magic based on the law of correspondence, using symbols, colors, metals, and opportune moments to create an energy vortex that resonates with the desired planetary archetype. The initial step is preparation. Identify which planetary energy needs to be balanced. If you suffer from a lack of vitality and purpose, you need to tune the sun. If you are stagnant and undisciplined, you need Saturn. If you are in conflict and need initiative, you need Mars. The ritual becomes the frequential medicine for the soul. The solar ritual, activation of vitality and purpose. Optimal day and time, Sunday at sunrise, when solar energy is pure and waxing. Correspondences, gold color, gold metal, fire element. Preparation, find a place where you can see the sun. Wear golden or yellow attire. Light a golden candle. Invocation, stand with arms open. Inhale deeply. Focus on the heart chakra and the solar plexus. Recite an affirmation of power. I am the light. I radiate my purpose with unconditional love. Visualization. Visualize the sun as a disk of molten gold entering through the crown and expanding in the heart, restoring vitality and dissolving doubt and fear. Physical practice. Perform the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, posture to activate the inner fire, tuning signal. feel a wave of warmth, confidence, and clarity of purpose. The lunar ritual, connection with emotions and cycles, optimal day and time. Monday, ideally on new moon nights for intentions, or full moon for release. Correspondences, silver color, silver metal, water element. Preparation, wear white or silver attire. Take a bath with salts or calming herbs. Place a bowl of water on the altar. Invocation, sit quietly. Focus on the sacral chakra and the belly. Recite, I honor my flow. I receive and nourish my emotions without judgment. Visualization, visualize the silver light of the moon descending and impregnating the water of the body, calming emotional tides and purifying unconscious memory. Vocal practice, hum a low constant tone that resonates with the deep calm of the ocean. Tuning signal, feel a deep calm, peace, and connection with the subconscious. The Mercury ritual, mental clarity and communication. Optimal day and time. Wednesday at sunrise or sunset, mercurial transition hours. Correspondences, bright yellow color, Mercury metal, symbolic, air element. Preparation, clean the workspace. Wear attire in shades of yellow or orange. Have paper and pen handy. Invocation, focus on the throat chakra and the head. Recite, my mind is a swift and clear messenger. I speak my truth with grace and precision. Visualization, visualize silver wings sprouting from the ankles and shoulders. See a ray of electric blue light traveling from the throat, cleansing the communication channel. Written practice, perform the practice of morning pages, writing without censorship to clean the mental and mercurial wiring. Tuning signal, experience a rush of ideas, instant clarity, and a need to speak or write. The Venus ritual, heart opening and beauty, optimal day. End time, Friday in the afternoon. Correspondences, pink, emerald green color, copper metal, earth element. Preparation, create an aesthetic environment. Surround yourself with flowers. Wear pink or green attire. Invocation, focus on the heart chakra. Recite, I am beauty. I am worthy of love, and my heart radiates harmony. Visualization, visualize a sphere of pink or green light spinning in the heart. This light expands, attracting harmony and dissolving judgments about oneself and others. Sensory practice, slowly eat a piece of high-quality chocolate, honoring pure pleasure and Venusian sensuality. Tuning signal, feel a wave of self-love, aesthetic calm, and the desire to create something beautiful. The Mars ritual, will and action activation. Optimal day and time, Tuesday at noon, the hour of maximum fire. Correspondences, deep red color, iron metal, fire element. Preparation, wear red or strong colored clothing. Perform intense physical activity beforehand. Mars needs to discharge energy. Invocation, focus on the root chakra and the solar plexus. Recite, I am action. My will is a focused fire, and my courage is unbreakable. Visualization, visualize the red, hot energy of Mars in the muscles and circulatory system. See a red iron shield around the body, giving you the strength to face any challenge. Focus practice, write a list of 10 immediate goals and cross out the most difficult one on the list, committing to 10 minutes of immediate action towards that goal. Tuning signal, feel a sudden increase in physical energy, an urge to finish a task, or the ability to set a necessary boundary. The Jupiter ritual, expansion and abundance. Optimal day and time, Thursday in the early morning hours. Correspondences, purple, royal blue color, tin metal, air element. Preparation, wear purple or blue attire. Read a book of wisdom or philosophy. Invocation, focus on the crown chakra and the liver. Recite, I am expansion. I trust the divine plan, and abundance flows to me effortlessly. Visualization, Visualize Jupiter as a benevolent giant, pouring a waterfall of purple light over you, amplifying all the good things in your life. Feel a surge of unbreakable faith. Generosity. Practice. Perform an act of selfless generosity as Jupiter governs the capacity to give. Tuning signal. A feeling of deep optimism, an expansive idea for the future, or an opportunity for travel or learning. The Saturn ritual, structure and discipline. Optimal day and time. Saturday at nightfall, the end of the week, the time of stillness. Correspondences. Black, dark gray color, lead metal, earth element. Preparation. Wear dark, simple clothes. Sit in a quiet, austere place. Hold a lead object, symbolic, in your hand. Invocation. Focus on the root chakra and the bones. Recite. I accept structure, I honor my time, and my discipline is the foundation of my mastery. Visualization. Visualize a gray marble cube around you, giving you limits and protection. Observe all the unstable structures in life, and with Saturnian will, mentally tear them down to rebuild them. Grounding practice. Meditate in total stillness, feeling the weight of the body on the earth. Accept the fear of limits. Tuning. Signal. Feel a deep sense of responsibility, unshakable calm, and clarity about a life structure that needs to be built. Chapter 9. The final goal of the wisdom of the Codex of the Heavens is for the human being to cease being a ship adrift of cosmic influences and to become a conscious cosmic antenna, the meeting and harmonization point between heaven and earth. To achieve this integration, the fragment must develop sensitivity to subtle planetary influences. This requires constant practice of self-observation and meditation, fine-tuning the internal senses to perceive the change in frequency in the body and mind before it manifests as an event or an intense emotion. Upon perceiving a sudden irritation, Mars, the conscious being knows that the energy of action is being misdirected and redirects it. An invaluable tool is to keep a journal of correlations between celestial events and internal states. Note the transit of the moon, the start of a retrograde or an eclipse, and meticulously record the emotional, physical, and external fluctuations that occur during that period. Over time, this journal becomes your own personal codex, revealing how each planetary frequency uniquely manifests in your energetic system. It is crucial to use the natal chart as a personal map of energetic strengths and challenges, and not as a prison of destiny. Your natal chart is the original score the universe gave you. It shows which planets are in harmony, your innate talents, and which are in tension, your karmic lessons and challenges. The tension of a conflicting Mars does not mean you are an aggressive person, but that your fragment has the opportunity to consciously work with that energy to transform it into unshakable courage. The tuning ritual is then used to strengthen areas of tension. The daily practices of tuning with the planet of the day are the anchoring of this mastery. The discipline of the Chaldeans reminds us that each day vibrates with a different energy. Monday is for introspection, Moon. Tuesday is for action, Mars. Thursday is for expansion, Jupiter. Saturday is for structure, Saturn. Dedicating 10 minutes of meditation each day to the ruling frequency aligns personal will with the rhythm of the cosmos. The vision of the human being as a meeting point between heaven and earth is the culmination of this knowledge. The conscious being no longer feels like a mere inhabitant of planet Earth, but as a cosmic citizen with the capacity to anchor and harmonize the energies of the planets for the greater good. The body becomes the alchemist, transforming the raw energy of the cosmos into pure consciousness. The future that the Codex reveals to us is that of a humanity conscious of its cosmic citizenship, an era where astrology will be vibrational biology, where disease will be recognized as a planetary disharmony, and healing as a tuning. The fear of destiny will be replaced by the joy of active participation in the celestial symphony. The consciousness fragment by mastering the law of correspondence, becomes a co-creator of the rhythm of the universe, ensuring that the human temple is a beacon of harmonic light in the vast cosmic night. The final lesson of the Codex is that the greatest freedom lies in tuning in with the higher law